Hi, I'm Andy from Trusted Life Circle. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to dementia-proof a Google Pixel phone by creating a safeguarded, cognitive-friendly phone environment. I'll be using a Google Pixel 10, but today's tutorial should work for most Pixel phones running modern versions of Android. If you're using an older Pixel or if you're working with a Samsung Galaxy or iPhone, check the video description for links to our other dementia-proofing tutorials. On this channel, we also cover related topics like protecting a loved one's phone from identity theft and financial risk, and tools like Google Family Link, which can play an important role in fully dementia-proofing Android phones. Together, these videos form a complete system for making smartphones safer and more usable for people living with Alzheimer's disease-related dementias, and cognitive impairment. There isn't a true cognitively assistive interface built into Pixel devices. Instead, we manually create one by carefully adjusting settings, display options, app behavior, notifications, and call protections. When done correctly, this creates a phone that is safer, more focused, and far less overwhelming, while still allowing meaningful use. Before we begin, I strongly recommend installing Trusted Life Circle and setting up your loved one's account. Trusted Life Circle is a private social app we designed specifically for people in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. TLC was built to live inside simplified cognitive-friendly phone environments like the one we're about to create. This allows your loved one to stay socially connected, receiving photos and updates without the overwhelm, distraction, or vulnerabilities of conventional social media like Facebook or Instagram. Vulnerabilities that smartphones can present in dementia gets very real. In some situations, the safest option may be to remove the phone entirely. And that is a completely valid decision. Depending on your person's needs, behaviors, and patterns, taking the phone out of the situation may ultimately be the most supportive choice. But in other cases, like my mother for instance, especially in the earlier years of progression, keeping the phone, if properly safeguarded, can be very helpful. In my mom's case, we found that with the right setup, the phone could remain a source of familiarity, connection, and a sense of independence, instead of becoming a source of confusion or risk. At Trusted Life Circle, we're committed to exploring creative and flexible ways to make smartphone usability possible for as long as possible, so that caregivers and people living with cognitive impairment can continue to have tools that bring ease, familiarity, and meaningful moments throughout their shared dementia journey. All right, let's get started. First, let's confirm the admin environment. Open Settings on the Google Pixel phone you're dementia-proofing. First, make sure the phone is connected to Wi-Fi in the location where your person with memory impairment will be spending most of their time. From Settings, tap Network and Internet, then Internet, and connect to the correct Wi-Fi network. Next, let's make sure the phone is signed in to a Google account that you have access to. Go to Settings, Passwords and Accounts, and confirm that the Google account listed there is one controlled by a caregiver. This account becomes important later for things like Find My Device, account recovery, and general device management, so make sure it's protected with a password that caregivers know. For this setup, I'm going to be removing the screen lock on the phone. Now, whether or not you do this is a personal judgment call. If you decide your person needs an unlocked phone for usability, it's important to take extra steps to remove sensitive information. Things like payment methods, email access, and any financial or high-risk apps. Use your own judgment here and consider the environment your person with dementia is in. If you do choose to remove the lock screen, make sure you also watch the video I referenced earlier that walks through identity and financial theft safeguards on the Google Pixel, including custom settings and tools like Google Family Link. You can follow that video before or after this cognitive-friendly setup. The order doesn't matter, but it is important to keep identity protection in mind so the phone doesn't become a liability as dementia progresses. For security and privacy settings, go back to your main settings menu and scroll to select Security and Privacy. To turn off any locks to the phone, in the Security and Privacy menu, scroll down to Device Unlock, then go to Screen Lock. You will need to enter the phone's code to enter. Once you are in, you can change the way the screen locks. For my mom, I will go with Swipe, but you might even want to select None. Selecting None or Swipe will require Face ID and fingerprint unlock to be removed from the phone. Tap to Pay, Wallet, and payment apps will not work. That is in line with what we want. Press delete, and now the phone is unlocked. Press back. Now let's make sure Find My Device is on. Scroll down to Device Finders, press Find Hub, and make sure Allow Device to be Located is on. You may want to place Find Your Offline Devices on as well. Read through the settings and choose what is best for you and your person with memory impairment. Having these preventative measures in place will be very helpful when this phone goes missing around the house or otherwise, and worst case, if your person goes missing. If they have their phone on them, this will be a critical tool. I would also suggest putting Remote Lock on as well. Press through and select Use Remote Lock. Now let's create the simplified user interface for the person you care for. We are going to start by utilizing Google Pixel's built-in Simple View to apply a general Google-designed simplified mode. Open Settings, and from there, scroll down and tap Accessibility. Inside Accessibility, scroll down to Simple View and turn this on. As soon as you do this, the phone will subtly change to some default accessibility appearances, increasing text size, icon size, and simplifying the default interface settings, amongst others. This sets a good baseline for our settings, but we are going to take it many steps further to make this phone dementia ready. Next, let's simplify the way apps display on the home screen. Go back to the Settings menu and scroll to press Wallpaper and Style. We'll see the lock screen selected first. Scroll left to select the home screen so we can customize its appearance. Scroll down and select Layout, then let's select the XL setting. Large may work too. It depends on how many apps you are going to prioritize on the phone. Our goal is to only have one screen, so nothing is hidden, and we are going to aim to have a minimal amount of apps to keep the phone utility as simple and straightforward as possible. Press Apply, then press Back, then press the center Home button on the bottom navigation bar to see how things look. Let's assess the new home screen interface by swiping left and right. You will see that swiping left reveals additional home screens, and swiping right reveals the Google app as a media page. Return to the home screen. Place your finger on an empty section of the background and hold to reveal settings options. Now press Home Settings. Here we are going to turn off At a Glance to remove distracting info from the home screen. Then we are going to turn off Swipe to Access Google app if you want the Google Media page removed. And I am also going to turn off Overview Suggestions. Turning these home settings off keeps the phone experience a bit more static and predictable. Once your home screen settings are modified, press the Home button to return to the home screen, and you will see that swiping right now leads nowhere. Now we will organize the app display. Swipe left multiple times to take a look at how many screens you might need to downsize. Now let's organize it so that only the most important apps are displayed and that everything is on one simple home screen. To move an app, press and hold. It will bring up settings options. Keep your finger holding the app and move it in the direction you want it to go. Place the app where you would like it to go in the grid and remove your finger. For unwanted widgets, press and hold. When the edit window pops up, move the widget to the Remove Action button to remove it from the home screen. For apps that are not needed, you can do the same, or you can press and hold, and when the settings menu pops up, you can press Remove. It will not delete the app from the phone, but it will remove it from the home screen. Also know that in any area of the grid, you can place multiple apps to share that space. The icons will just appear a little smaller. Now let's talk about social media apps. Taking these off the phone might be a big decision. You will have to feel it out depending on how your person is interacting with them. They can become a real issue that needs addressing, and being preventative can help. So use your own judgment. We created TLC to help fill the void that not being able to use these apps creates, so that your person can continue to connect like they would on a conventional social media app, but without the risks that Facebook and Instagram pose. For this reason, delete vulnerable social apps and make sure TLC is front and center on the primary home screen. Continue organizing your apps with this in mind and until you reach your desired minimal app and home screen setup. For someone like my mom, I have placed the phone app and Trusted Life Circle in the bottom row, then the photos, messages, weather, and YouTube apps in the top row. Now let's clear other vulnerable app journeys. Despite the simplified interface we've created, on the Google Pixel, the app screen is still accessible if your person swipes upward on the home screen. Make sure to do an edit here for any apps that may create problems if they are ventured into. When you find an app that you want removed, place your finger on it and hold. Press App Info and then Uninstall. Press back and repeat for all apps you want removed. Some native apps like Google Apps are required to remain on the phone. So instead of uninstalling these apps, you can disable them. One Google app I would definitely disable for my mom is the Calendar app, only because the Google Pixel displays date and time on the lock and home screen, and if you press it, it opens Google Calendar. So disabling Google Calendar prevents those accidental actions. Also, for apps you want to add to the home screen, you can press and hold, and when the settings window pops up, press Add to Home Screen. Go through app by app and make your decisions based on what supports your loved one best and safeguards their experience intentionally. A quick note about the Safety app: Google designed this app to support emergency scenarios, one being a shortcut to dial 911. Now, this may serve as a critical utility for able-minded phone users, but for someone like my mom who is in a moderately severe stage of Alzheimer's, I would disable this app as well so we do not get any accidental 911 calls. Make your own judgment call here. Continue to clear all unwanted apps. There may be a lot that you'll see are unhelpful to your person, so take your time to narrow this list down. It will lend significantly to the usability of this phone for the person you care for. Now let's discuss phone calls and messaging. We are going to safeguard this utility for your loved one by thoroughly curating the contacts list. This list will be your person's closest circle, closest friends, relatives, or caregivers. Whoever remains on this list may get multiple calls in a row, so be sure whoever it is close and flexible to manage their availability for phone calls from the person you care for. Go to the app screen and select the Contacts app. Now we're really going to narrow this list down. First, let's start by selecting Favorites. These will be all the contacts you want to keep on the phone. Search or scroll to the contacts and select which individuals you want to make a favorite. You can do this by selecting the contact, and once on the contact's info page, press the star at the top of the screen. Also, for an added bonus, make sure you have good clear contact photos on favorited contacts. On their contact info page, click the Edit Pencil icon. Click the Edit icon on the circular profile photo to select a photo from your gallery or a shared Google Photos album. Press Save when you are done and back to return to the contacts list. Continue until you have selected all desired favorites. Now that we are finished with setting up the favorites, we are going to delete all unfavorited contacts. Just in case, you might want to create a backup of this contacts list as is in case you need to reference it. To create a backup of the list, initiate the contact list editing mode by pressing and holding one of the contacts listed. Once the editing mode is activated, press the triple dot icon in the top right and press Select All. With all contacts selected, press the Share icon and choose a method to share and store this list somewhere you have access to, like a personal email or Google Drive. If you've already disabled Google Drive and Gmail, you can text message it to yourself. After the list is shared externally, we are going to initiate the contact list edit mode once again. Select all, and now deselect all contacts we want to keep by deselecting the favorites we distinguished before. Once all contacts we want to keep on the phone are deselected, proceed to delete the remaining selected contacts by pressing the trash icon in the top menu. Proceed by pressing Delete. If you want to refine your new list into favorites and standard contacts, you can organize that now. Once that is completed, we are left with a simplified, safeguarded contact list to help support your loved one, keeping them out of accidental call loops while keeping their most important people on speed dial. Now, we've safeguarded the contacts list, but this doesn't protect against calls coming in, or more particularly, spam calls. To do this, we are going to set up a custom mode. However, it is possible your loved one might turn this off accidentally. If this remains an issue, you will want to source a spam protection app to really protect the phone here. For more resources on the best spam call solutions on Android devices, check the description in this video for our suggestions. To set up our custom spam call protection mode, open Settings and scroll down to navigate to Modes. Let's create a new mode by pressing Create Your Own Mode, and then pressing Custom. Let's name the mode the name of the person you're caring for. Select a friendly icon since it will display on the lock screen, and then press Done. Now let's decide when to turn this on automatically. Press Set a Schedule, then schedule based on a day and time. Once the automation type is set, press the default designated time to change it to all day. Press the start time and change it to 12 a.m., press OK, and do the same for the end time. Set it to 11:59 p.m. and press OK. Make sure every day of the week is selected and press Back. Now let's define the notification filters. Keep Allow All Notifications off so that we can protect against calls and messages coming in. Then press People so we can establish who can interrupt this mode. These will be people that we are allowing to call or message our person. Press into Messages. Since we've highly curated our list, I will select All Contacts. Press back, and now I'll do the same for calls. If you have a lot of confidence in your curated contacts list, toggle off Allow Repeat Callers as well. Press back again, and here you can also customize what app notifications can come through in this mode. If you want any, with selected apps selected, press the settings wheel next to it to select apps to proceed to any apps you want notifying your person in this mode. If you have notifications enabled for Trusted Life Circle, you can add that as well. Press back and back again. You can customize alarms and other interruptions, making sure media sounds are still on, and maybe touch sounds as well. Press back, and if you still have some app notifications, I would suggest pressing Display Settings, then Display Options for filtered notifications, toggle off Don't Turn On Screen, and Don't Wake for Notifications, and also toggle off Don't Pop Notifications on Screen. Now the apps you still want notifications from will come through like normal in this custom mode. Press back and press back again. Our mode settings are ready. Now scroll up and press Turn On Now to activate. Now let's handle notifications settings. It may be redundant, but just in case the spam call protection mode gets turned off, let's clear up distracting and misdirecting notifications. Go back into Settings, scroll to Notifications, press into App Notifications, and make sure All Apps is selected from the drop-down menu. Here you can scroll through the apps list and toggle off all apps you don't want notifications from. Keep only a select number of apps that you still might want notifications from, like Messages, Phone, and Trusted Life Circle, for example. After that is complete, press back, and as an additional option to make notifications even more minimal, you can scroll down to Notifications on Lock Screen. For my mom, I've set it up so that there are no notifications on the lock screen. This direction keeps things as simple and consistent as possible, so that each time your person picks up the phone, they are in the driver's seat having a distraction-free journey. With this in mind, press back to customize the rest of your person's notification settings. Monitor what's useful and what's not useful over time. You can always go back in and refine notification settings here. Before we wrap up this cognitive-friendly Google Pixel setup, let's put some finishing touches on some advanced settings. Go to Settings and scroll all the way down to Accessibility. Then scroll to Timing Controls. Select Touch and Hold Delay and change this to Long. This will help against accidental settings actions by your person pressing the screen too long. Press back. Now scroll up to Display Size and Text. Here you can make the font size bigger, display size bigger, and bolden the text. Set according to what you think might work best for your person and press back. Browse the accessibility settings for any other unique settings that might help your person. Press back when you are done, and for more advanced settings, scroll up to Display and Touch to adjust some appearances. Make sure adaptive brightness is on, scroll down to Lock Screen, then Add Text on Lock Screen. This may be a nice personalized touch. Add your person's name here, and then press Save. Press back. Scroll down. You can toggle between dark or light theme here. I have my mom's phone in light theme. Scroll down, and you may also want to turn off Auto Rotate Screen. Press back. Last but not least, let's set a custom wallpaper. It's a nice touch to make it something familiar and inviting. On the Settings menu, go to Wallpaper and Style. With lock screen selected, scroll down to select More Wallpapers, and then choose a photo. Select a good photo from the photo gallery. You can add photos here by downloading them from shared albums or texting a photo to your loved one's phone and downloading it to the gallery. Select the photo and press Next. I like to keep the home screen minimal, so I make sure that's unchecked and the photo is only applied to the lock screen. Then press Apply. Scroll down to review other lock screen options, like changing the clock display and adding or removing shortcuts. And when you are finished, press the Home button, turn your lock screen on by pressing the side button on and off, and observe your new lock screen. All right, that's it. This phone is now ready for my mom to use, safely and without stress, for all parties connected to it. I hope the same for the person you care for. Nothing will ever be perfect when it comes to caring for and safeguarding someone with dementia, but creating a simplified environment on their Google Pixel phone is a real solid start. I hope this helps even just a little bit. Caring for someone with dementia is very hard, and if you're here, know you are doing something meaningful and you won't regret it. Take care of yourself, Make sure to subscribe to us here at Trusted Life Circle for updates and more. We're here to help.